Hello, my fellow donuts, and welcome back to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Let's continue. And to be honest, I don't remember that we left at this spot, did we? I'm not sure. Did I even save the game? I hope. Let's just go on with this. Mister, I believe the reason you might have lost consciousness at the crime scene is tied to a certain piece of evidence. And I probably have to present it. Present it. But wasn't it just because, I had a bit too much fun the night before? Did I not answer that question? So I swear I did. No, it was because of this. Right. There was sleep potion or something like this, or maybe even a poison. The tomato juice. Oh, you're so slow. You passed out right after drinking this juice. Therefore, it's not unreasonable to assume that there's a direct connection between the two. Yeah, usually juices do not make you sleep. Well, think harder. Mr. Knight, exactly, that's why something must have been added to the contents of that bottle. Something like a soporific, whatever it means. You mean sleep medicine? Right, that's exactly what I was trying to say there. And if a soporific was mixed in with the tomato juice, that means Sir Balduke would have been unconscious at the time he was assailed, meaning he couldn't struggle. This sketch, have another look. The red liquid trickling down from the victim's mouth is proof that Sir Balduke must have drank the tomato juice. I had failed to consider this. Yeah, because you're just stupid. Inquisitor Barnum, I bet you remember saying this to the court. Can you imagine anyone just sitting back and letting themselves be strangled? Clearly, there should be evidence of a struggle. And since we haven't found any, that must mean the killer erased all traces of a fight from the crime scene. However, if the victim was unconscious when his assailant was strangling him, then the killer could have committed the crime through a small portal big enough to put their hands through after all.
Objection!
What do you object to? That may be so, but tell me this. How would the culprit have managed to obtain such a strong soporific? Because he was working for alchemist, maybe? Yeah, you just realized it, right? It was very simple. And I think you've realized why. Yeah, by his reaction just there. From the alchemist. That's right. An alchemist would no doubt have a wide array of various medicaments in their possession, and an apprentice would have little trouble stealing some of them from their study. Isn't that right, Miss Grey Earl? Ooh. How should I respond to that? I'm sorry to disappoint you, may perhaps be the best way to put it. May you enlighten us why? What do you mean? Even though that juice bottle has been safely stored for the past 3 months, I'm positive it would be impossible to find any traces of that soporific now. I have a feeling I've already read that. No? Did I not save after? I swear. You wicked. Yeah, definitely. I saw it. Yes. But I saved, did I not? Who? Hold on, everyone. The butler couldn't have done that to Sir Balduke. She would never ever do it. Right. In the end of the previous part, I do remember this little girl here. She said something about relationships of Butler and Sir Belduke. So okay, we're gonna listen you out. Please, let us testify just one more time. Miss Greyer, let's tell them. Let's prove they're wrong. They have no idea how much you've done for Sir Belduke. Miss Mailer. I wonder, did I really not save the game, or did it just go like this? I don't get it. Anyway. Very well, I shall grant your request. Testify about the relationship between Miss Grey Earl and Sir Belduke. I don't believe you. Just say. Master took me in, a complete stranger. I will forever be indebted to him. That's why I could never make an attempt on his life, through magic or otherwise. Sir Belduke was a wonderful man. He's the one who recommended this line of work to me. And he is the one who told me about it. The confidentiality obligation, I mean. I've never once broken it. What's that? I have to press on that for sure. It's true that Sir Belduke awoke fear due to his being an alchemist. However, he was also a man of admirable character who supported the townsfolk through his research. Why would anyone want to kill such a man? Maybe once someone wanted to be in his place or something? This question keeps haunting me, however much I think about it. Witches need no reason behind their evil. That is what makes them witches. This makes no sense. Now the defense may begin its interrogation. Thanks, I guess. I'm gonna skip her speaking, I guess. I'm more interested in what this girl's saying here. Oh my god, I have only one a chance for a mistake, so please save the game and make sure it's there. Press. Hold it. You mean you became a courier because of Sir Belduke? That's right. I was also an orphan. I'd been stealing bread or apples and such from stalls and shops to survive. I was known far and wide among the traders in the shopping area. I was famous, or rather, infamous. Well, as I already said, if you are a known thief, you're doing something wrong. Since if you're a thief, you should not be known. You know what I mean? Okay. Was she stealing from Mrs. Clare too? That's irrelevant. And one day Miss Greyer took me there, to Sir Belduke's residence, I mean. Sir Belduke helped me. He helped me to find a suitable job. And so you became a courier? Yes. See, I only have one real skill. I'm light-footed. At first I didn't take it seriously, the job, I mean, I didn't care about work. But then I realized that it's not so bad to be useful, you know, to other people. Huh. So I owe him a lot too. You see, Sir Belduke, I mean. What a heartwarming story. I think the judge just wiped away a tear with the rim of his hood. That's quite cute. The more you hear about Sir Belduke, the more obvious it will become that no one had any reason to want to kill him. I don't know about that, it sure does seem that way. And he's the one who told me about it, the confidentiality obligation. I mean, I've never once broken it. Hold it! What's that? The confidentiality obligation is a rule held among couriers, is that right? Yes. A courier must not disclose the contents of a letter, nor the names nor addresses of its sender and recipient. But I'll tell you confidentiality that I love gossiping, bad-mouthing people especially, so I wasn't confident I could keep it. The confidentiality obligation, I was tempted to talk about this and that. To think that Belduke trusted her. But then Sir Belduke spoke to me. He told me this. Think about how you'd feel in that person's place. And that got me thinking. I really like to gossip. But when it comes to being gossiped about, people's messages are their secrets, and secrets must be kept. Indeed, no one would want their letters to be publicly known. She's certainly determined when it comes to confidentiality. That's why she doesn't want to disclose the addressee of Belduke's letter. I'm not going to get it out of her, am I? I promise, Sir Belduke, and I'm going to keep it no matter what. The promise, I mean. It's something I can pride myself on, right? No. End of the road for testimony. Everyone knows that Miss Grey Earl respected Sir Belduke. That's why it seems so inconceivable that she could be a killer. She doesn't have any motive. But that crime did take place. At this point, what we probably need to do is look at this case from a different angle, change the perspective, so to speak. We just need to look at it from another angle. I wonder. I feel like getting close to the truth here. Now I just need to follow it through. That's an attorney's duty. I'm sure you can do it, Mr. Wright. I don't know. I'm gonna save the game again. Sucks that I have only one option for, no mistakes actually. If I make one mistake, I'm done for. So, no mistakes here. I'm gonna use hint here. Present here? That's why I could never make an attempt on his life through magic?
Objection!
I don't know, that was a guess. Miss Grey Earl had no reason for wanting to kill Sir Belduke. However, there was another incident that night which is related to this case. And I have an idea what it was. Another incident? I'm referring to this letter. Sir Belduke wrote a letter shortly before his death, yet all we have here are some blank sheets of parchment. Fascinating. Are you saying maybe a witch used some kind of ink-removing magic on that letter, Mr. Wright? No, I think that he just used invisible ink there. Maybe. No, the spell used by the witch was, of course, Godor. Let's go over the state of the crime scene one more time. As we know from Miss Mailer's testimony, the letter was in the letterbox next to the victim's head. And yes, it's in the sketch as well. The letterbox is on the far side of the shelf. The point of note is the location of that letterbox. Unbelievable. I don't follow. As Inquisitor Barnum seems to have noticed, the letterbox is within reach of the small portal conjured by the witch behind the painting on the wall. Oh, indeed it is. And as Sir Belduke's butler, you would have known exactly where he keeps his letters. Indeed, Master Belduke would always keep his letters in that letterbox before posting them. You mentioned no such thing. Well, did Shirley need to? Miss Grey Earl, you created a portal with Godor, not with the intention of killing Sir Belduke. You were after this letter, weren't you? That's merely wild conjecture. I didn't even know about that letter at the time. You didn't? Now that's very strange. When Miss Mailer came by that night, Sir Belduke was busy writing that letter. And that's when you entered, carrying a bottle of tomato juice. There is no way you wouldn't have known that your master was writing a letter to someone, and you could have known even more than that. For instance, perhaps you knew that he was writing what he was writing about. That's enough. I served Master Belduke as his butler. I never would have pryed into his private affairs. Whatever it was he wrote about in his final letter to the storyteller. Oh, no one said that who he wrote to, but thank you very much. It is no concern of mine. Your Honor. Yes, defense? I'd like Miss Grey Earl's last statement to be added to her testimony. Any objections, Inquisitor Barnum? No, my lord. Very well, witness, include what you just told us in your testimony. As you wish, my lord. I had no reason to take his life nor steal his letter to the storyteller. Do I just present that letter again here? Because I don't know. Save? Or do I press?
Objection!
No. But how does she know it's to the storyteller? Fuck. I probably should just press. Okay, sorry. We're not gonna waste time. Let's close and reload the game. Okay. This game is so damn confusing. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Capcom, for making these games. And level 5, of course, for Professor Layton. Skip. There you go.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. You didn't know anything about the victim's letter. That's right. I believe I have said as much as already. Then, how did you know? How did you know it was addressed to the storyteller? Ah, indeed. Everyone is so slow in this game. I'm the only one smart here. Why don't you answer his question, witness? It's true, this letter is addressed to the storyteller. But when did you find out about it? I have spoken about the murder with many people over the past 3 months. Oh, that's interesting.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Mailer. Yeah. I thought I caught her off guard, but it's her screech that's caught me off guard. Is there perhaps anything you'd like to add to this testimony? No, not really. In that case, let me ask you a different question. Did you tell Miss Grey Earl about Sir Belduke's letter? Hmm? I see your reaction. Come on, look at us. Look up. Oh, you broke the rule, didn't you? I don't know. Do not beat about the bush. Witness, answer the question. If I may briefly interrupt. No, you can't. I may testify right now. I am testifying right now. If you wish to question Miss Mailer, please do so once you have finished interrogating me. Oh, shut up! There's like 4 witnesses at the stand. I can question anyone, so shut up. She's not going to let me question Mailer from the looks of it. And if she's so keen to prevent her from answering, this might be a critical point in the testimony. I've got to find another way of finishing for that information. Witnesses continue testifying.
Hold it!
Let's continue pressing on this then. Like, since I can't question Mailer, we will continue pressing here.
Witness!
Okay. Everyone has been very kind to me. They have also told me all sorts of things. I must have heard about it from someone at some point. Fuck. Well, that incident was certainly much talked about. Would you not agree, defense? No. Does her testimony hold together? Fuck. You are becoming very predictable, Sir Belduke. Belduke? Wait. I'm sorry. Here's my chance. There's only one way to expose this contradiction. Fuck. Hint. Yes. I can't present evidence. The defense has no intention of presenting evidence. What? The proof that there is a contradiction cannot be found in the court record. What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? The professor pointed it out to me in the previous witch trial. In this court, an attorney's arsenal isn't limited to the court record. Each of the witnesses in this trial has given their own account of what occurred. Therefore, whenever one witness has testified, the other remaining witnesses have listened. Should one witness's testimony differ from another's testimony, then I suppose that in itself can also be considered a contradiction, can it not? Juxtaposing contradictory testimonies from different witnesses is the key. Miss Grey Earl, your testimony contradicts another one that we have heard in this court today, and I can't save my game before continuing. I had no reason to take his life nor steal his letter to the storyteller. Master took me in, a complete stranger. Master took me in, a complete stranger. I will forever be indebted to him. Sir Belduke was a wonderful man. He's the one who recommended this line of work to me. And he He's the one who told me about it. The confidentiality obligation. I mean, I've never once broken it. Fuck. I can't mistake here, so... Fuck. This? Question?
Objection!
Oh my god, did they really just turn that statue there? It was a single word that gave you away, Miss Grey Earl. What? What do you mean by that? The name of the recipient. There were only a few people who knew the intended recipient of that letter. 4 people, to be precise. 4? Well, Belduke for sure. The killer? Probably Mailer. Who's the 4th? Only 4 people? First was Sir Belduke, the author of the letter. Then there was Miss Mailer, who delivered it. And of course the storyteller, its recipient. Oh, wait. We got it from the storyteller, didn't we? So it was actually delivered. I kind of I lost it from my vision. I thought it wasn't delivered, so I didn't think of the storyteller himself. Okay, and as well as one more person. The one who stole the letter using a portal spell and swapped it with his blank sheets of parchment. The witch. Oh, shut up! Maybe I did. Maybe I spilled the beans. About the letter, I mean. Maybe I told the butler. You did what? Well, because, you see, me and the butler are sort of friends. And it was about our dear Sir Belduke. I felt like I might have told her about it after all. See? If I did, that's how she knew about the recipient, I mean.
Objection!
You stupid. I understand that you are friends with Miss Grey Earl and you want to help her out. But I've got a piece of advice, Miss Mailer. You shouldn't lie, even for a friend. Especially at court. Huh? Remember your testimony. You told us about the courier's duty to keep the details of letters confidential. And you have also testified that you have never broken that obligation. Remember?
Objection!
But hold on just a minute. As the victim's butler, Jean Grey Earl might have had a chance to catch a glimpse of the envelope.
Objection!
No, she didn't. When Miss Mailer came with the delivery, Sir Belduke was still writing that letter. In fact, he was in the middle of it. At that time, the letter had not been addressed yet. And the next morning, when the body was discovered, that letter was already in the letterbox. Keep in mind that Miss Grey Earl would have had no opportunity to see it then, either. Is that so? She went to report the crime without even setting foot in the study. And then Miss Mailer appeared and retrieved the letter. Needless to say, Miss Grey Earl couldn't have learned of the letter's recipient afterwards. Or maybe you have a good explanation, Miss Grey Earl? I'd very much like to hear one. Can you please tell the court how you found out the recipient's name? Please? Mr. Wright. Yes? Do you remember what I said when I was called to the witness stand? Yes? No. At the heart of the alchemy lies the pursuit of the rules and logic that govern nature. You have demonstrated the power of your own logic. Miss Greyle. Are you sane? Yes, I confess. The abhorrent witch who used the spell Godor to swap the contents of that letter, and who took the life of Master Balduke. It was none other than I. Why did she do this? And I'm surprised she's just confessing. She could just say, like, keep telling, it's not her, it's not me, it's not me. I was an only child, born to a poor family. I've been a witch since I was very little. When did I become aware of it? I don't remember. Although I was but a young child, I knew that being a witch was a crime. That's why I hid my witch's scepter and wouldn't use magic at all. She looked just like her mother. My father worked as bricklayer. He toiled every day, but he could hardly make ends meet. One winter day, we couldn't afford to pay the rent. We were going to lose the house. My mother was in tears and my father was sitting with his head down, wordless.
I want money for Mummy and Daddy.
That day I suddenly remembered about the witch's scepter that I had hidden. The Goldor spell. I thought I'd try it just once, casting the spell. But at the time I had no idea what an irreversible mistake that would be. Even though no one told me, I knew from the very beginning that magic I was able to use. What should I turn into gold? I was thinking about it really hard, the little girl that I was. Just use a brick or boulder or something. Something that wouldn't stand out, that could be taken for a work of art. Then I decided I'd choose a pretty leaf that had fallen into our garden. But it wasn't the right thing to do after all. I was terribly punished for using magic, even just the once. Punished? In that way. In what way you were punished? I placed the leaf down in the back garden and cast the spell, but then Margaret suddenly walked in front of me. Margaret? My closest childhood friend. Margaret. Right before my eyes, she was turned into gold. Oh, dear me. I screamed and cried out, but I knew I couldn't ask anyone for help. If anyone had seen it, they would have known it was the work of magic, and I knew Margaret wasn't coming back. That's terrible. Then my mother and father's faces flashed before my eyes. We may have been very poor, but we were always happy together. Had I been captured as a witch, I feared my parents probably wouldn't be safe either. That thought tormented me more than anything, and so I made the decision. I decided to end my own life. I threw myself into the river near the town. It was winter and the water was as cold as ice. I couldn't even move. It was painful. My consciousness started drifting away. The Next thing I knew, I was in Master Balduke's residence. He risked his own life jumping into the freezing river to save me. And yet you killed him? I don't follow. I burst into tears and told him everything. I didn't want to go back home. I would only end up causing my parents grief. What? You just don't know how your parents love you. They would be so happy to see you. They must have been so worried after, not seeing you for a whole day? And it's winter? I can't even imagine what they went through. Master Balduke listened to me without interrupting, and then he told me this.
You can stay here, but from now on, you must live as a boy.
Master Balduke met with my parents and explained everything to them. Oh. They were very sad, but they agreed it would be the best if I did return home. Poor Miss Grey Earl. It must have been so awful for her. Master bought the house for my parents, so they wouldn't have to worry about paying rent anymore. As for Margaret, turned into gold, he brought her to his residence. He knew that if anyone saw her, they would report an incident of witchcraft. And this Miss Margaret, is she still in that golden state? Yes, she is. That's strange. We have received no reports of anyone by that name having gone missing. Margaret is being kept in the basement under Master's study. The basement? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this Margaret, is she goat? Yes, my dear friend, was a goat that we were keeping at our house. Goat? Until then, Master Balduke had mainly been researching medicine, but since the incident with Margaret, he became known as an alchemist. So that's when he became an alchemist. I was wondering why the goat was the only thing not covered in dust. That's how I started a new life as Master Balduke's butler. Sir Balduke would sometimes work as a physician, curing the townspeople of their illness. As his assistant, you have also shown commitment to helping the townspeople through your work. I forgot about being a witch and was able to live happily, at peace with everyone. I thought it could stay like that forever. But those peaceful days came to an abrupt end. Tell us, what in the world was the cause? Even I am not quite sure what led to this. However, it all started 3 months ago with that lightning strike. Master Balduke and I were on our way back home, carrying specimens for experiments. An old bell tower appeared in the flames. Everyone who saw it was never mind. But the expression on Master Balduke's face was unlike anything I'd seen before. What do you mean? His face went pale and twisted in sheer terror. He was shaking violently. It wasn't just astonishment at an unusual phenomenon. It seemed as if he was afraid of something more concrete. Perhaps Sir Balduke saw something that others couldn't. He consulted his experiments on that night and began writing a letter to someone. A letter. I found out about it when I brought him his bottle of tomato juice. I don't follow. How did she end up killing him? He was writing feverishly, as if he was possessed. I saw some things. A few words in that letter. Expose everything. Cannot keep the secret any longer. The truth about the witch. Oh my god. Master Belduke was going to confess that I was a witch. I think he was not writing about her, really. At least I don't believe so. Why would he? Everything went blank in front of my eyes. I will never forget the feeling that overwhelmed me at that moment. Is that when you decided to commit the crime? What I did first was accidentally singe part of the wall in my room. It was an excuse to repaint that section of the wall green. Then you also painted the wall behind that painting in Sir Belduke's study. When did she have the moment for this, if he was already writing that letter? Wasn't it supposed to happen at the same night? How did she paint the wall behind that painting in the study of Belduke? This doesn't add up. And when that fateful night came... Which one? He was already writing the letter. Huh? I used a syringe to inject a sulfuric through the cork and into the bottle of tomato juice. So many thoughts were running through my head as I wished Master good night. I opened the portal behind him. He was right there in front of me, asleep. I reached for the letter in the letterbox, taking care not to wake him. And then I happened to notice the name on the envelope. Storyteller. When I read that name, the world all around me turned blank once more. Blank. It's impossible to avoid what is written by the storyteller. It seemed as if I could hear the doors to all escape routes shutting closed. It was the sound of despair. I would like you to believe me that the thought of taking Master Belduke's life never once occurred to me. I only planned to steal that letter and then disappear. But as I looked up on Master sleeping there in front of me, at that moment I felt an evil presence awaken within me. Why did he save my life? And why did he betray me? Before I realized what I was doing, my hands were clutching his neck. He didn't move at all, so I kept on clenching his neck. That's it. That's the truth about what happened 3 months ago. Well, that's pretty sad. There is just one thing I fail to understand. Yes. You said you wanted to run away once you had stolen the letter. Yet despite that, you continued to live in Sir Belduke's residence. And now here you stand. Well, she wanted to escape without killing him. Just, she wanted to steal the letter and run away. But she killed him, that's why she stayed. Stayed there. Why did you not run away? My life had been thrown into disarray due to the absurdity of magic. I had learned all about alchemy, living in Master's residence. Alchemy is concerned with the logic. With the logic that governs the world. I wanted to believe that there truly was such a thing. So I stayed in that place, hoping to one day see the irrational nature of magic overcome by the power of reason. Magic being overcome by the reason. That night, I swapped the letter with blank sheets of parchment and waited for the sun to rise. I resolved to wait for the day when my true identity could be exposed through reason and logic. Master's death remained a mystery for 3 months, and people started to lose interest. And then you appeared, Mr. Wright. On the day you visited the residence, I was listening to your conversation from the other room. Has the time finally come for me? My heart was racing with anticipation. Then, a few minutes after everyone entered that room, an unbelievable incident took place. That incident? A witch appeared in Master's study. What? Oh, no. You're telling me you're not that witch, huh? I wanted to get a look at the witch, so I created a portal in the wall behind the painting. Precisely at that moment, Goldor. Ooh, it was Bezella. The witch used one of the very spells that I can use too. When I heard those words, a single thought flashed through my mind. This was my chance. I could dispose of my witch's scepter. I knew at the time what kind of a witch the Inquisition would be looking for. A witch that can use Familia and Goldor. It occurred to me that I only needed to change one of the magic gems. I had previously found out that the Familia gem was purple. I realized that if I swapped the Goldor magic gem for my amethyst, I could pin the blame for my crime on that other witch. So you changed one of the gems and threw the witch's scepter into that room, is that correct? Exactly.
Objection!
Can you tell me if that witch was Maya? We can trust her, right? Just tell me it's not Maya. Wait a minute, Jean Grey Earl. This statement of yours is highly problematic. How so, Inquisitor Barnum? I'd like to know too. Yes, you're right. Can someone explain to me what this is about? Yeah, enlighten me too, please, guys. I am a witch, indeed. A sinful creature that killed the person to whom she owed her life. However, regarding the gentleman standing next to you, Mr. Wright, he may have fallen victim to a witch, but that witch was not me. Oh. Oh. Wait, what? Yeah. Wasn't it quite logical since she mentioned another witch, just saying? What is the meaning of this? Jean Grey Earl admits killing Sir Bolduke, but not to turning Sir Layton into gold. That is the gist of it, my lord. But lying about it is meaningless. Lying? Just being a witch is a crime in itself. And the punishment for that crime is the same regardless of whether she took one person's life or two. That's why there's no point in lying about it. I'm sure that's what the judge is thinking. Well, she could be just that evil bitch that, you know, She just wants some other people to suffer too, since she's gonna die anyway. I mean, yeah. Grey Earl is still claiming she never laid a finger on the professor. But if there is no point in lying, does that mean she must be telling us the truth? So in that case, who's responsible for that? For what happened to the professor? If it wasn't her, then who was it? Great Witch? Let me save the game. Silence. It's awkward. Mind if I say something? Yes. Take a hint, witness. Does it feel like this is the right moment for you to talk? Well, at least someone will talk. Yeah, well, that's kind of why I was staying quiet until now. But I either say it now or never. What might it be? Don't simply fall silent after saying that. It only makes it weigh on my mind more. Whatever did you want to say? Oi, Bluey. Yes? I need to make sure about something. Me head's not what it used to be, you know? What? Are you... is this time asking me questions? The alchemist butler, Lady Butler, she slipped sleep medicine into his drink? That's correct. She laced his tomato juice with it. And then she strangled the alchemist afterwards. Yes, Sir Belduke was unconscious from the sleep medicine, so he didn't resist. And that explains why we found no signs of struggle at the crime scene. Yeah, about that. I let it slip earlier about what I did at the crime scene, right? I told you that I had a few sips of that juice. And the sleep medicine mixed in made you sleep like a log. Yes, we remember. Yeah, well, here's the thing. This is just between us, okay? You see, when I appropriated that juice, the juice bottle was, well, still unopened. You should have fucking stayed silent. This is... What do you mean unopened? Maybe it was opened, then closed again? It was unopened? Me throat was parched and I wasn't thinking straight. That brand new bottle was just there, waiting for me with a corkscrew conveniently laid next to it. I could just let that go to waste. I swiftly pulled out the cork and got to drinking. What? So, great. That's what we needed at this point, right? So, in case you don't get what I'm getting at, the alchemist didn't have a single drop of the juice with the sleep medicine. Maybe there was another bottle too? Please? Witness, you went to the trouble of opening the bottle, found the crime scene just to drink its suspicious contents? Yeah, why not? That's what I've been telling ya! I was dying of thirst. Now they both sound the same. That doesn't justify what I've done, what you've done. He was thirsty, come on. The Inquisition shall deal with this witness after the trial. Yeah, you really should. is so annoying. He would find out what it means to be dying of thirst in a more literal meaning. Wow, that's harsh. However, let us not waste any more time with him for now. The witch has confessed to her crimes. There is no need to investigate Sir Belduke's death any further. Well, I don't know. Indeed, you're right, Inquisitor. Her role in the Sir Layton incident is not entirely clear, but a person who kills her protector, to whom she owes her very life, can be nothing other than a witch. The court has sufficient grounds to sentence her as such. No, we're not done. Belduke didn't drink the juice that night. And if that's true, there's one thing here that doesn't add up. Why he was not struggling? Mr. Wright, I have to say there's something about this that's bothering me. Oh, shut up. I'm sure there's a contradiction lurking in that man's testimony. You think so, Luke? Maybe it's not his testimony. Can I really turn a blind eye to that? I guess I can't. Because I'm following, like, justice? Come on. Mister, you're saying you opened the tomato juice bottle, but that claim contradicts a certain piece of evidence. What? Defense, I'd like a word with you. Yes, Your Honor? At this point, your client's innocence has already been established. Therefore, whether there is a contradiction in that man's testimony or not, should no longer be any of your concern. That may be so, Your Honor, but even though I am here to defend the accused, the true duty of any attorney is to uncover the truth behind what happened. See, Barnum? That's the way you should do your work. My job's not done until there are no more contradictions left. Very well. Sir Blue Knight, let us hear about this contradiction you have discovered. Well, I don't really know. The bottle was first opened by that guy, meaning Belduke didn't drink any of it. That means there is one piece of evidence that should be very difficult to explain. Which one? I would like to hear about this contradiction too. The defense shall present the evidence. I'm gonna save the game again because I don't know. What could it be? Exactly. Where is the contradiction in this witness having been the one who opened the tomato juice bottle? Here, the bottle is open. Oh, how about, is this blood then? Maybe this?
Take that!
The contradiction can be seen in one of the sketches of the crime scene. In one of the sketches? Please take a look at Sir Belduke's mouth. We can see a line of red liquid trickling down from his mouth. Yes? Oh, yes, well, we have already established that it was the tomato juice. Oh. Exactly, Your Honor. Sir Belduke didn't drink any of the tomato juice that night.
Objection!
Which means there's only one other possibility. That red line is, as we thought first of all, blood. Can't you really see the difference between blood and tomato juice? I mean, like, really? Especially when it's on skin. It's so obvious. Sir Belduke must have tried to fight back the assailant and beat his tongue in doing so.
Objection!
Unfortunately, that would only bring us back to the problem we encountered earlier. Didn't you even check his body? Like, I don't know, there must be a doctor who checks the body after, you know, checking if he really beat his tongue, checking if it was even blood or not. What the hell? Okay, earlier, if the victim had put up a fight, then there should have been traces of a struggle at the crime scene, and yet no such traces were found. That's what made you assume the witch must have used Familia. Yes, that is so. As I explained before, Master Belduke didn't struggle at all at that time, but when I think about it now, in light of new information, it was very unnatural. I think he might have already been dead at that moment. The victim didn't drink the soporific, yet didn't struggle. But what does this mean? If it's not tomato juice nor blood brought about through a struggle with the murderer, and what else could it be? Since it's not tomato juice, we have to assume it's blood after all. Yeah, right, it's gotta be that. We have ruled out the possibility that the victim bit his tongue while struggling with the attacker. Indeed. And there's got to be a different reason for that blood being there. He was dead at the moment she was strangling him, I mean. He must have suffered internal bleeding that was somehow connected to his death. But what could have caused it? Someone killed him somehow? If I may ask one question. A question to whom? If I just clarify this one suspicion, I may be able to explain the blood shown in the sketch. Damn, I don't know, what do you mean? What do you mean? That's why I need to question one person in particular. Barnum? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. Hint? You are not helping me. Fuck. Emir? Mister, can I ask you something? Yeah. Don't give me that scary look, Bluey. I know nothing. Nothing at all. I've got nothing to tell. Emir is as innocent as a little lamb, but is his confidence more than a sham? He'd better off without that bard. You drank the tomato juice that was at the crime scene, right? Don't keep asking me about that over and over again. So what if I did? Then I have another question for you. Did anything else disappear from the crime scene that day? Oh, I bet. Come on, answer. Nah, I didn't notice anything.
Objection!
Witness, just what have you done this time? You look like a dog caught making a mess on the carpet. It's so funny. Do you have a... Right, he has a dog, right? That happened to him before. Oh, that's kind of cute. I don't know about anything going missing. I'm innocent. Please believe me. Truth could drown in his swimming eyes. Some tell lies well, others cannot tell lies. Looks like my gut feeling was right. He took something from the crime scene. Something gold. Probably. Something that could be directly connected to that red liquid around Belduke's mouth. It couldn't be a knife or anything, right? What on earth did that man steal from the crime scene? A certain item disappeared from the crime scene that day. And at this very moment, it's highly likely that item is right in front of our very eyes. Huh? But what? It's here? Isn't that right, mister? Is it? I have no idea. What is that? Is that goblet? Is that how you call it? That he's drinking from? How do you know? Defender, I order you to show us what this item is. The item that this witness took from the Okay, never mind. It was still judge. It was either this or this, and I have no idea. This. I think it's this. I mean, why would this be there? Hint. Because fuck this. Really? Okay.
Got it.
Oh, what? Are you telling me he killed himself? I mean, Belduke. The bottle. Miss Grey Earl, I'd like you to clarify something for me. What would that be, Mr. Wright? Sir Belduke was working on creating certain medicines. He had various dangerous substances in his possession as well. How were they stored? Master kept them in a locked medicine cabinet. The bottles were labeled so that it was clear that they were dangerous. They have all been confiscated. As for those labels, did they resemble the label on that guy's bottle? How can he just keep drinking it without being afraid of dying? Mister, what are you doing with a product of Master's research? It's not what you think. I didn't have any evil intentions or nothing. That bottle belonged to Master, and it was used to store strong poison. Poison strong enough to kill. Poison? What? The red liquid trickling down Sir Belduke's mouth was definitely blood. Now as for what caused him to bleed like that from his mouth. It was the deadly poison from the bottle this guy stole from the crime scene. This is outrageous. What? The question is, who killed Belduke? Did he kill himself? I mean, I don't think Emir stole it because he killed him, because there's no way for him probably to I mean, yeah, that's pretty stupid. It was labeled with that sign, so Belduke wouldn't be that stupid to kill himself without knowing it was poison. So yeah. Whoa. Do you expect me to just keep quiet? It was poison? Poison! Am I gonna die? You would be already dead. You'll be fine. Just wait and see. Time will tell. Yeah, I guess. Poor guy. More importantly, I want to know why you have that bottle. Well, that's Remember how I told you I drank the alchemist's tomato juice? Indeed. It's not something easy to forget, especially having heard it several times. Well, that was when I saw it on the floor, this bottle right here. It was totally empty and I thought, you know, it's such a fancy looking bottle at all. And I'm a bit of a skull fancier. Fancier? They have this air of dangers about them, you know? Yeah, obviously. They certainly do. For a reason. So, since it was there, I was there too. I felt we were kind of meant for each other. Oh, that's how it works. Just being in one spot. Okay. Do you even imagine how many people come across my line during the day? Just say, I thought this bottle's so classy I could die for it. Had any poison been left in the bottle, you would have died instantly. But if it was empty, it was probably harmless. A bottle is never fully empty. There's at least some drops left, you know. It just like it stays on the walls of the bottle. Oh, hear that? I'm gonna leave. Good thing I rinsed it well before use. Okay, good for you. But if the victim was killed by poison, that raises a new question, of course. Who could have poisoned him? I think he killed himself. But why? Considering all the evidence and the testimonies we've heard today, the answer is so close I can taste it. Sir Belduke was poisoned by... Thank you, game. This time you gave me the chance to save. I think himself. No, I was right. I was wrong since... Oh, music stopped. I was right. It was, of course, Sir Belduke himself. Sir Belduke himself? Sir Belduke took that poison of his own will. His death was suicide. This doesn't change the fact that she wanted to kill him. That is preposterous. Suicide inconceivable.
Objection!
Think about it, Inquisitor. That would explain the most unnatural aspect of his death. The most unnatural aspect? Miss Grey Earl, when you were struggling Sir Belduke, he put up no fight whatsoever. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Until today I was convinced it was due to the sleep medicine. It wasn't, because he didn't take any. The truth is, when you gripped his throat, Sir Belduke was already dead. He had poisoned himself. Unbelievable, huh? But would the poison have caused him to bleed from his mouth? I personally know of no poison that works instantly and causes such symptoms. Oh, you don't? Can you just tell them that it happens on TV all the time? There are certain plants in this area that contain a highly poisonous substance. In the course of his research, Master Belduke found a way to extract that poison. What am I hearing? Is there really such a dangerous plant in Labyrinthia? The poison is very bitter to taste, so it would be impossible to secretly slip it into someone's food or drink, and it would cause internal damage. It is very powerful poison. Drinking it would induce a most painful death. And to think Sir Belduc could... But... did Sir Belduc really choose such an agonizing death for himself? It doesn't seem like he suffered that much. I would like to know that too, Miss Greywell. You mean to say Master killed himself after exposing me as a witch? I cannot believe it. He just wouldn't commit suicide. Indeed, cannot take such a theory at face value. We can. Had he committed suicide, I dare say he would have left a suicide note. I can say why Sir Belduc committed suicide, but I think there's a piece of evidence that can confirm his suicide was a possibility. There is a piece of evidence like that? I don't know. Since I say so, I guess there is. If you have such evidence, you ought to present it to the court immediately. Present the evidence indicating that Sir Belduc's death could have been suicide. I think it might be this letter, but I have no idea.
Take that!
Okay, I guess I was right. That's Sir Belduc's letter. Let's see, it was addressed to the storyteller, wasn't it? This is the last letter written by Sir Belduc. Now, if his death was a suicide, then this letter may well be his suicide note.
Objection!
What we have here is nothing more than blank sheets of parchment. Whether or not there was a suicide note is something we can only speculate about. That's right. But there is one person who knows whether this letter was really a suicide note. You mean the person who swapped its contents? In other words, you, Jean Grey Earl. Witness, you stole Sir Belduc's letter on the night of the crime. Tell us what was written in it. I don't know. What? You don't know? I did steal the letter, yes. But I don't know what its contents were. You mean you have not read it? I couldn't bring myself to read it. It seemed that if I did, everything that had happened since Master Belduc saved my life would be ruined in an instant. I've taken it out and held in my hands many times, but no matter what, I just couldn't. Miss Grey Earl, can you tell us where that letter is now? I have it here. Oh. You are carrying it around with you? If you were searched, you would have been done for. That night, having killed Master Belduc, I decided to stay in his residence. I knew my identity would be revealed sooner or later, and I was ready for it. So until that night, that time, I decided to always keep the letter with me. My lord. Yes, witness? If you don't mind, could you please read it aloud? Now that I'm here, in this place of judgment, I think I'm finally ready to hear what Master wrote.
Hold it!
Miss Greer, I think you should be the one to read it.
Me?
Sir Belduke wrote this letter to the storyteller as he was preparing to die. I think it's only right his last words should be read by you.
Yes, you're right. I understand. Please allow me to read the letter aloud. My dear friend, I hope you will be able to forgive me for leaving this world of my own will. I have finally made this decision, having seen that accursed bell tower
appear in the flames on that dreadful night. That lightning was a sign that we have angered the gods. What I have done cannot be forgiven. I can never escape from it. For the past few days, I have been thinking that it might be best to simply expose everything. This town's secret, the truth about the witch. Of course, I understand that secrets need to be kept. However, I have grown very tired. I'm afraid I cannot keep the secret any longer. I have only two concerns. The first is my daughter. It pains me to be leaving her alone in this world, although she probably doesn't think of me as her father.
Aww.
A daughter?
Wait, isn't he talking about her?
I was not aware that Sir Belduke had a daughter.
I think he's talking about his butler.
Mr. Belduke seemed to know a lot about this town. This town's secret, and the truth about the witch.
Truth about the witch? Somehow I don't think he was talking about Miss Greer.
Oh. The second matter, weighing heavily on my mind, is that Jean will be left on her own.
Seeing her growing up, so strong and righteous, in defiance of her fate, had given me hope. A short while ago, she brought me my usual, and what will be my last, drink. There are so many things I wanted to tell her, but I could only manage a thank you. She is a very sharp child. Had I said any more, she would have caught on. You could call me a selfish man, but I didn't wish my last memory of her to be a sad one.
Master Belduke.
This is so sad.
If the fate handed to her by this town has made her life an ordeal until now, I hope from the bottom of my heart that a wonderful story awaits her next. I intend to leave my residence to her, and I would like you to look out for her.
Alas, it is time for me to put my pen down, my dear friend.
Wait, wasn't he supposed to say something about a witch and the secret?
What I truly wish to express to you is too complicated for words. I hope one day you will understand. But for now, I bid you farewell. The time has come for me to go.
I don't get it.
This letter, it wasn't a denunciation of me being a witch.
No, it wasn't.
Master Belduke cared about you until the very end.
Yes, how could I have forgotten?
And you tried to kill him. And you basically
I'm sure
did.
I knew it all
If he
along.
wasn't dead before it.
So why did I? How could I have done that to him?
Miss Greer. My lord. What is it, Inquisitor Barnum? I think it is about time for the guilty verdict. Guilty? The Inquisition withdraws the charges against Maya Fey and charges Jean Grey Earl with being a witch. Are they gonna really do this? All the evidence corroborates with accusation, and she even admits her guilt. Hence, the Inquisition asks that the witch be found guilty and punished immediately.
Objection!
Not so fast, Inquisitor Barnum. What do you want now, Sir Belduke? Oh, Sir Blue Knight. Belduke. Why the fuck am I still calling Phoenix Belduke? I'm sorry. Admittedly, Miss Grey Earl did attempt to strangle Sir Belduke, but he had consumed a deadly poison and was already dead at the time. Therefore, she's not guilty of murder. Yeah, but she's a witch and they are killing witches, so... And one more thing. It also wasn't Miss Grey Earl who turned Professor Layton into gold. There was another witch present at the crime scene. The defendant Maya saw her too. To put it simply, Miss Grey Earl didn't kill anyone. Yeah, she didn't kill anyone, and yet you still want to burn her? Maya. Do you even know how it feels to be put in this cage? It's like everyone's against you and it's super frightening. I'm not a witch, but I've been thrown into this cage and almost sentenced for something I didn't do. And now, you are about to do the same for another person. That's just not right. Is that all you have to say? Huh? The one who's in the wrong is not me, but you, Sir Blue Knight. Whether the witch committed the crime or not, is completely irrelevant. This is the witches' court. All witches must be punished by fire. But that's crazy. Why, Barnum? Inquisitor Barnum is absolutely right. Being a witch is a crime. You understand that, don't you, Miss Grey Earl? Yes. Very well then. The court is ready to issue the final verdict. Maya Fey is found innocent, and in her place, Jean Grey Earl is found guilty of being a witch and shall be cast into the fire.
No! You can't!
Hold it! Please, hold the verdict!
Bella.
Espella?
What?
What is it
going
now,
on?
Espella Cantabella?
There is nothing else we can do. This is the course of things, and you should know it well.
Indeed. All witches shall be cast into the flames. That is the law of this town. A law that was written by your very own father. And furthermore, a law that has always been obeyed in the town of Labyrinthia.
A town like this should never exist in the first place.
What? Such insolence!
That's heresy! She's criticizing the storyteller's story! Even the storyteller's daughter has no right to criticize the story!
Trials in which innocent people are sentenced to death by fire. I shall make sure this is the last one.
What do you mean, Espella?
Since you're also keen on the rules created by the storyteller, you should know exactly what I mean.
What? Great Witch?
The stipulation for ending the witch trials. Once the Great Witch Bazella is burned, the witch trials will end.
Okay.
At present, I am under suspicion. You know very well why that is, don't you?
You? Well, you don't mean that you're,
I am guilty. I am the Great Witch
What are you
Bazella.
doing, Bella? All this time, how many times did we already save her butt? And now she's great.
Now, cast me into the flames and let Miss Grayle free. Miss Cantabella. This shall be the last of the witch trials. No one else need be burned hereafter.
Estella, just what are you saying? I can't let you do that.
Please, Mr. Wright, let me do as I wish. I'm sorry, but this is a problem concerning the people of Labyrinthia. No! Please don't do it! There must be another way! You don't need to do this! It's all right. Luke, Maya, Mr. Wright, and Mr. Layton. I truly appreciate all you have done for me.
This can't be happening.
Miss Cantabella, your confession will have very serious, or rather, fatal consequences for you. May we assume that you fully understand those consequences and are willing to accept them?
Nola? What was that? I wonder what's gonna happen. Are they just gonna burn her or what?
I am Espella Cantabella, the storyteller's daughter. But I also have another name. I am the Great Witch Bazella. I have lived hidden in the dark pages of my father's story, deceiving all of you. Many lives have been sacrificed because of me. But that shall end today.
Court attendants, seize that woman! She is the Great Witch Bazella.
Only because she said so? Okay. Nola, don't.
Espella.
Maya!
Espella, this just isn't right. Let's go. Nick, give me a hand.
Oh my god, they're gonna just escape, aren't they?
Jump.
Previous two girls, just we saw them die. I mean, we saw one die. The first one was, yeah. We didn't see the trial, but we saw her getting killed there. Oh damn, no, not again.
Espella! Quick, in here!
Don't you dare to escape. No! Maya!
Stop! You've got to stop! Maya!
Nah. This can't be. This means they are not dying. This means there's, I don't know, they're just lowering them down and they go to some place. I don't know. This is a bullshit. I know Maya is alive. I know it. Right? This is a bullshit. Please tell me she's alive. I I missed her so much. I can't lose her now. Damn it. But I just know they couldn't kill Maya. Come on. So it kind of kills the moment here. If they kill the Spella here, that would be like, yeah, she died there. I could believe that. But we can't believe that Maya is dead, so yeah. We'll see what will gonna happen next time. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.